right, as the days get shorter, it's a little darker in the morning, a little darker at night, it gets dark earlier. You know, in fall, I don't know what it is, but we start to think about home security and taking care of your property and different things. So there's some really, really simple things that you can do. One is lights. I know it sounds real common sense, but having good floodlights around your house, it's amazing, even go through different neighborhoods and it's so dark in the neighborhoods. One thing people use, and I don't know if they're still as popular as they once were, is the floodlights that have the motion sensor on it. And then if you walked onto somebody's property, then, you know, it would come on. It's like, why do you want somebody walking up on your property? So I'm against those. I just don't think, I just can't really think of a use that I would rather have, especially with LED bulbs that cost so little. I want them on all night long. I have the floodlights on all night long. Does not cost very much. I do highly recommend using the soft white rather than, see the blue label there, the daylight is real bright, and that does kind of make your house look a little bit like an institution, maybe a small county jail, something like that. So soft white, just keep them on. I think having that light does more than anything. And then deadbolts, the locks on your doors. So when I was a young married guy, I would install these for people. So that was kind of a little side job I had, and I would charge $15 labor. So this is in the early 80s. Can you imagine someone coming out to your house for $15? But that's what I charged, and as a young guy, man, that was such gravy for me, that money. But I put in a lot of deadbolts. So this is two different kinds, and I'm showing you the plates that go against the jamb. A nicer one, see the size screw on that? That goes all the way into the frame, where this is actually longer than the ones that I used to put in, but it's still not long enough. The plate's not as heavy. That's why somebody can put their foot into the door and just kick your door in. So if you're buying deadbolts, you know, buying the better one, the heavy duty one that you can't put a big wrench on and rip the thing off, is well worth the money. However, a lot of us already have deadbolts. So I'll show you a quick thing that you can do. Now on this one, so this is what's called a single cylinder. So there's a knob on the inside. Sometimes when you have a pane of glass that somebody could easily, this is a big pane of glass, so it would be really hard, you know, but a little pane where somebody could punch it in and reach in, you might want to have a double cylinder. But of course, you always have to think about fire safety too. You don't want to lock yourself into the house. So one thing you can do, take the long screws, and again, I'm going to pull this out, and this is kind of what I used to do. I should have the glasses on. So that was the size right there. That was it. That's what was holding that in. Now I'm going to reach over here, because I don't have a pilot bit, and I'm going to put a little beeswax on this screw and hope for the best, because this thing then will go all the way in. So all you have to do, this little upgrade, is to get long screws. Now, that's simple. You've improved the safety of that door and your security. So just a few tips. So about mid-October is a good time to start thinking about planting fall bulbs. People get kind of fired up in August and stuff. It's really too early to put fall bulbs in, but now is the time, and really, you can plant bulbs all the way till the ground freezes. So if you have some, keep them in a cool place. A lot of times people buy them, don't get a chance to plant them, but you can still plant them. You can plant them in early December. As long as that ground is still a little bit warm and you can work it, go ahead and do it. Now, bulbs. So this is a tulip bulb, which is kind of the most popular. You plant it with a little tip up. So you plant it about 2 to 3, and this is kind of rule of thumb, 2 to 3 times the depth of the bulb. So this one, we'd say that we'd probably put it 4 to 5 inches deep. Okay, so that's rule of thumb. And so how do you plant them? So since I was a kid, we've been selling these bulb diggers, okay? So you just put them down on the ground like this. Okay, so even when I was a kid, they didn't work very well. But yet we continue to sell them, which is kind of cool. And this one actually has like a little a little clean out of the dirt. So most of us, unless we have really soft soil, these don't really do much for us. So then there's this one, which does a lot better because you can put your weight on it. But remember, it's Indiana. Clay soil. Okay, so let's see. That's not quite deep enough, but it's close. So if you can do that, that's fine. But another way is the old drill. One time I about broke my wrist doing this, but so that would work. Making sure the drill's going the right way would help. All right, so the problem, I didn't have that in there very well. It's not a great way to plant because the bulb goes, it's surrounded by clay. So really the better way is to get a shovel and dig to the depth that you want. So back in here, I've got this about 5-6 inches. And then because you'll get a better burst of color in the spring. So if I come down here, so I've got it all set, and these I have red and yellow, so I'm just gonna kind of mix them in. And when you do that, I just put them a couple inches apart. And then when that comes up in the spring, it'll be absolutely gorgeous. You won't have to worry about single plants popping up, because if you get everything right in, you know, and you get that burst, well, in this particular instance, there's hostas behind it. Well, those hostas, the tulips will be done by the time that hosta comes up. So you get your early burst of color right here with the tulips, and there's hyacinths, there's crocuses. Cover them up. Make sure you put a little, same thing, I would put some biotone in there because that will help. So I'll throw that in there. Then, if you got a lot of squirrels, I'd put a little piece of chicken wire over the top, cover it up. You'll forget you did it, and all of a sudden, you'll be amazed next spring. Well, you've heard fall is for planting, and it's more than just a slogan, because truly, fall really probably is the best time of year to plant, because we have cooler temperatures. We plants, because think about when you plant in the spring. You take a shrub or something and you put it in the spring, and we have nice cool temperatures in the spring, but what comes next? Hot weather, and puts stress on a new plant that has not established itself. So when you plant in the fall, now we have warm temperatures, and even after it gets cool and you have cool nights but really starts to get cold, the ground stays warm. And when the ground stays warm, the roots develop. So fall is for planting, but the problem is everybody's tired of their lawn. So nobody wants to plant, and because they're tired of their lawns and their landscape, a lot of times you have trouble finding plant material because garden centers are tired of it as well. So it's a little harder to find fresh product. So, but if you look around, the other thing, I mean, look at this, like what will get us like, oh boy, that one doesn't look very good. Well, it doesn't look very good because it's almost fall. So if you have a deciduous plant, don't let that's still a very healthy plant. So unlike if you have an evergreen like this, that's a problem. You don't want to buy that plant because evergreens don't come back. But any of the deciduous plants like this is a butterfly bush, so it doesn't look very good, but trust me, it'll be fine. It'll love the fall weather. So the key to being successful when you're planting at all is making sure that you have a big enough hole that the plant can survive in. Because what people tend to do is they'll dig a hole this size, this deep. You want to dig that twice the size, even bigger. The bigger the better, because if you just dig at this, what you do, because of our clay soil, you have a little clay cup, and that little clay bowl holds water. So get it nice and big. And the other thing, what you'll want to do, there's two ways to do. You can either take the dirt that was in there, chop it up, put it back in. The other way is to soften it somewhat. But if you use too much soft soil, the roots tend to go around and circle and can actually girdle because they have to live in the clay that we have. So the recommendation, take nice soft soil, mix it with half of what came out of the soil, the clay stuff, half of this, half clay, and that's kind of a nice mix for those to go. So the other thing you don't want to forget, this is a shock preventer, Biotone, or you'll find other ones like it. Miracle Grow has one. Make sure that you're using something to prevent transplant shock, but in the fall, hopefully we won't have that. What you don't want to do is take regular fertilizer and drop it down inside the hole, because if you do, that will actually, the roots can pick it up and can kill it pretty quickly. So a couple things, this is called wilt proof. So a couple type of plants, they start to really, it's hard for them to get through. So boxwoods and hollies. So about November or so, if you would spray those, and what that does is help hold the moisture in, and at the same time, you can spray your Christmas greens. How about that? So fall is truly for planting.